Lately I've been coming across a lot of people that have felt the need to defend their positions, and in a righteous way at that. It's interesting at this time and in this energy right now where we find ourselves in, where people feel the need in an egoic sense to defend their positions and to gaslight you in regards to me, in my experience, to gaslight me in a way that makes me feel as though, for them at least, in their self-righteous behavior, that they're right and you're wrong. And you know nothing. And that's the most important position that people hold, is that what I've learned and seen around people at this time is that you know nothing and I know everything. I know better than you do, and you know nothing and you know nothing. I repeated that 3 times for a very important reason, because in natural law you do express yourself 3 times. If you're not heard, it becomes truth and law. So I made a video about plant medicine not long ago, and I put it on my YouTube channel, and the whole reason I made that video was I asked questions. I don't have to make any statements when he claims. I ask questions around the nature of the use of plant medicines and taking them out of the container of where they are in the jungles of West Africa and of course in the rainforest, in the Amazon rainforest. I speak of 2 plant medicines in particular, iboga and ayahuasca. And I have questions. I'm making no statements, making no claims, only questions. And it's amazing how most people have only watched 4 minutes of a 12-minute, 13-minute video, have watched 4 minutes, and yet they gaslight me about my perceptions without even watching the entire video. So they've got no place to actually make a comment on what I'm recording, or what I've said, because they haven't watched the entire video. They haven't heard everything I've said. All they've done is make assumptions around the beginning of my video and the title of my video without even watching it right through to its full extent and understanding that I'm asking questions, not making claims or statements. It's very different, very different. And my experiences are empirical. That's the difference as well too. I'm not making any claims or statements. I'm telling you people in that video about my own experiences around the use of plant medicines in the country that I'm living in currently, Te Moana Nui Kiwa, Aotearoa in the legal sense, New Zealand. And these comments and these questions are not made off the cuff. They're made literally through personal experiences, you know. But people felt the need to gaslight me around and defend their positions about the fact that they're right and that I'm wrong around my perceptions and around my questions, because they don't even watch the goddamn whole video to even make that claim in the first place. The claims they're making about my perceptions are unfounded. But once again, it comes down to this egoic need to be right in your self-righteousness, to defend their positions around the use of the plant medicine and their experience with plant medicines. Everyone's experiences are different. But the need to be right, the egoic need to be right, the self-righteousness that people have, is bewildering to me. And at the moment I'm experiencing around me in my community of people too, there is this sense of self-righteousness and righteousness that comes with a place of a need to defend one's position, rather than being open to opinions, and I'm open to people's perceptions around reality and what they're experiencing, and be open to that, simply open to it, holding no position other than being open to hear other people and listen to them, and then be able to discern what works for you, what lands for you, what your truth is, and then either agreeing to disagree or learning something about oneself, or an experience, or to have a position or a perception that alters. And see, for me, I've looked at my reality and my life in this way, is that I've taken the stance, along with David Icke, that I have no more beliefs, I only have perceptions. And my perceptions can shift and change at any moment due to the nature of knowledge that I'm exposed to, and knowledge that I find and discover through my own journey, through research, through empirical evidence, and through stories. And information that presents itself to me wherever I go. Books I'm reading, people that I'm talking to, videos that I watch, talks that I hear on podcasts. I'm open. My perception is completely open to change at any moment because I don't have any anchored strong beliefs. And my truth is discernible through my own levels of awareness and self-awareness. There's no need for me to defend my position in any way, because life is meant to be experienced in a way, in my perception, like you live your own life and you experience your life in your own way, and you use your own discernment about what rings true for you and what doesn't ring true to you. So this necessity and this need to do this, this righteous need to be correct, to be my position is my position and you're wrong, it's not frustrating to me, but it's kind of like a form of trolling. And in this day and age, I can see that we ended the Kali Yuga cycle and come into a more virtuous cycle. And this cycle, this Yuga cycle is coming to an end pretty abruptly next year, according to some scholars, in 2025, in the spring in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, the actual March equinox in 2025, which aligns with David Dubine's research around the 4 gas giants being on the backside of the sun for almost 6 months. Very interesting time for that to happen. I think the alignment around that, astrologically speaking, and also the fact that the calculations are around that exact time, you can't make that shit up. Hell of a coincidence. I do feel as though the most darkest parts of our society and our civilization are being exposed to us, and it becomes our choice how we choose to move through this experience. For me, I've got nothing but compassion and love for people who feel like they need to troll me and defend their positions around what I say and who I am. I don't make any bold claims or make any statements. I don't tell anyone how to live their fucking lives. The reason why I'm making these videos in the first place for this YouTube channel is you get to know me and my life as an author, as a creator. So you get to know who I am. So when you buy my books and read my books, or buy my albums and listen to my albums, you know who I am a little bit better than most people do, who don't watch my videos, who don't hear what I say about my life and what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing my experience, and I have no need to defend my position. I used to come from that place of deep ego, and it is egoic. You feel the need to defend your position and my perception. It's very egoic. It's an egoic experience. I'm right, you're wrong, and you gaslight someone saying that kind of shit. There's no place for it. And therefore, for me in that video, I've turned the comments off, because it makes sense. Hey, look, if people want to make calls upon my videos after watching 4 minutes of a 12-minute video, what does that say about them? I thought I have the attention span to actually watch what I'm saying, or hear what I'm saying, watch and hear what I'm saying and how I conduct myself in that video. Then they have no place on making a judgment on me and their self-righteous behavior, or they're defending their positions. I don't need to defend my position and where I'm at, what I'm doing with my life, and how I perceive my existence. Like I said before, I don't tell anyone how to live their lives. It's not my place. I'm telling you how I'm living my life, and it's got no sway over your life, or how I perceive reality has got nothing to do with anyone else other than myself. I'm giving people the opportunity to know more about who I am as a creator. And by doing that, what it does is it gives the insight to people who buy my books to know who I am. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to get likes. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this to sell any courses. I mean, crikey, I'm not even doing this to sell my books. People can buy their books on my own volition. That's their choice. Once again, I don't need to defend my position. Oh, please buy my books so I can get rich and keep traveling the world. If you want to read my books, you're more than welcome to buy them. If you don't want to, you don't have to either. And the same thing as well. You don't need to justify your position by commenting and trolling me and gaslighting me on my YouTube channel. If you want to do that, I'll just turn the comments off. No problem. These are easily solved. Go watch something else, go do something else. Seriously, what does it say about people when they feel the need to do that? If you really want to, and this is my perception as well, I'm not telling anyone how to live their life, but we are coming to a time of deep virtue. Because virtue will be the one trait that will take us through into the ascending yuga cycles. We are moving to a more virtuous civilization, a more virtuous paradigm. So what is it this time, this moment, what could be a better moment, a better time in our life existence to begin to act from a place of more virtuous and more virtue in our behavior towards one another? And my perception is quite crystal clear. This is what we need to do if we want to move in through this cycle and either survive what's coming, as Bisra Dev, good Lord, the man who wrote Yoga Shift, excuse me if I'm getting your name wrong, Mr. Devra, I'll call him Mr. Devra. When he wrote Yoga Shift, his calculations, his perceptions are clear. His perceptions are clear around the Yuga cycles, is that in the next 15 years we are going to see global conflicts in regards to wars breaking out all over the place, mass cataclysmic events, geophysical, natural cataclysmic events, and some manufactured events as well, piggybacked upon, which will see the absolute decimation and destruction of our civilization. Completely gone. Gone. Everything we adhere to, gone in the next 15 years. And he believes, due to the nature of wars, before 2030, we'll be already at that place by 2030, where the wars that will taken place will have already caused their destruction in many, many ways. And our civilization will already be in tatters by then. But also, he believes, according to the research and his perception, and he's not alone in this, Graham Hancock said the same thing as well, when we enter the Perseid meteor stream in 2032 and 2036, we're going to have objects the size of between 10 and 15, maybe 100 kilometers wide, asteroids smacking into us potentially. And that is the end of civilization as we know it. That is the end of our civilization as we know it. If a meteor, asteroid, or comet smacks into us in 2032 or 2036 and it's 100 kilometers wide, it's over. You can forget your civilization, you can forget your smart activities, you can forget your smart cities, you can forget your digital currency. It's all gone. The whole lot's gone. And that's how it's always been. So, is it not a better time in the moment to be more virtuous in our behavior with each other? To act with more virtue towards one another, towards our environment, towards everything in our existence. To be more grateful, to come into our hearts more, and to drop the ego and the need to be right, this position, this defensive position we find ourselves in. Is it not a great time, an opportunity to drop that altogether right now and act towards each other with a more virtuous way and say, look, the self-righteousness has to end. Everyone's positions are different. Everyone has different perceptions, potentially, in regards to the nature of how we perceive reality. And for me, I'll ask questions. If you want to know more about who I am, watch the videos to the very end. It's very, very rare that I'll make a statement or a claim about the nature of reality. Very rare. I'll ask questions, constantly asking questions, because that's what I do. I ask questions. I don't know the answers to everything. Christ, I hardly even know the answers to anything that makes my life exist in the first place. I'm just asking questions constantly, because that's where I'm at. And in that place, I want to keep my heart and my mind open, because my mind, when it's open, like a parachute, works. And when my heart's open, I connect to everything, all that is. And in that place, I have the opportunity for my self-awareness to act in a more virtuous way. Thank you for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you watched all the way to the end. Mā te oa. I'll see you again soon.